Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at another really cool model from Victorinox, and this one was picked up on the secondary market from my good friend Dan over at Blade Bridge Customs. As I mentioned in previous videos, he's gotten more into finding the older, sort of different, rarer sort of models of Victorinox and bringing them to us at a very reasonable price. So please make sure you're checking out his website and also his Instagram. I will link both of those in the description below. But we're going to be taking a look at one that I have been looking at for a very long while, but because of the price, I didn't really want to pull the trigger on it. And we are looking at one from the Onyx Black collection. So now this is the Spartan we're looking at, but we'll take a look over the box to start with, and then I'll run through the prices and my sort of reasoning why I didn't pick it up to begin with. But comes in their standard sort of limited edition box. Of course, this is turned black instead of the silver you would get, as it'll pull sleeve over there, which holds it all together. You see we have the information on the back. We have Spartan Onyx Black and the model number being 1.3603.31p, and then you have the barcode underneath there as well. And then this little bit lifts off, and then inside the box you're just greeted with the knife, and you have the two pamphlets there. One is about the knife, one is about how to sort of care for it, and the sort of instructions on how to use the tools. Very standard stuff from Victorinox. I'm not going to go through that too much. But we do have a large embossed Victorinox logo on the left hand side here, Victorinox logo on that side, and then pretty much just the label from where it was purchased. So the original owner of this did pick this up from Heine Haynes. You can see this is their logo, Lorax Limited. But yeah, on to sort of the price with the knife. So this one on the Victorinox website, standard is £112, and that's a lot for just basically a fancy Spartan. So I didn't want to pick it up from there. On Heine Haynes, when it was in stock, it was around the sort of £70 to £80 mark. So I also didn't want to pick it up from that as well. And the cheapest I can find it in stock is on Pocket Dump UK, and that's currently on sale for £76.95. And that's still quite pricey, really, for just a standard two-layer Spartan with that's just blacked out. But I got a really good deal from Dan over at Blade Bridge, and this is basically brand new in box, never used. I have changed the scales on this, which you'll notice are no longer the black ones. I did put the ruby red sort of jelly plus scales on there to give it a bit more functionality. But I do have as well, which came along with this from Dan, is some carbon fiber scales. So I'm thinking about just going back to full blackout, but with carbon fiber on this. So stay tuned for community posts and things. I will post pictures of that once that's done. But we're going to have a run through and a review of this about why about the Spartan, really. So normally it would just be plain black scales, but as I mentioned, I put the ruby scales on there for a bit more functionality. I love the way you can see through, and it adds that extra dynamic that the liners are actually blacked out as well, and you can really see that through those ruby scales. Of course, them being the plus, you get the pen there as well, and the pin, and I also added the corkscrew on the back as well. So those are all additional features. Standard tool set then on the front. As you can see, this is all sort of, I was going to say blacked out, but it's not properly blacked out. It's a monochrome. So they've black monochrome on all the tools and the blades. So you do have that sort of black sort of reflective finish to them. Pretty standard in the tool set then as compared to a Spartan. I mean, it's identical. And as you can tell from the monochrome finish, it is an absolute fingerprint magnet. See that there, cap lifter, got the wire bender, and the larger flathead screwdriver. Again, very standard for a Spartan. And then as the right hand side, it's the can opener with the smaller flathead screwdriver up there as well. On the back of this one then, we have the pen blade. Again, as I mentioned, everything's monochromed. It looks fantastic, but it picks up fingerprints like crazy. As you'd expect from Victorinox, the edge grinds are perfect. The action on all the tools is perfect. No blade rub, snaps really good. Nice pulls on them, about 5.5, and then you get to about a 6 here. And then a nice snap on the open too. You can see you do still get that Victorinox sort of tumbled polish finish, but with the black monochrome over the top. And we also have the larger main blade on there as well. We have the Victorinox Swiss made stainless tang stamp, and then the most modern version being the Officer Swiss. This of course being a sort of pretty relatively new model. I believe this came out in 2021. I know it won the Red Dot Award in 21 for its design and sort of uniqueness. But no half stops really, as normal for a Victorinox. 5.5 pull to about here, and then it gets to about a 6 when it snaps open in that position. Main blade length, we are looking at under the 3-inch mark, which is fantastic for UK. 1 to 2.75, and then a cutting edge of 1 to 2.4 inches. So there's not going to be any problems with you carrying this in the UK. It's less flashy for me because it's all blacked out. There's less things to sort of shine and show up. But I've never had an issue with a Swiss Army knife. They're always seemed more as tools here than they are as knives. But let's take a look at the liners. If I open up all the tools, we can take a look inside at how that's blacked out. And you can see that isn't monochrome in there. That is just standard blacked out aluminium. Quite hard to pick up on the camera with it being black, but you can see what I mean. You can also see that the springs on the back too are also monochromed in that same covering. Back tools on this then, same as a regular Spartan. We have the all blade or owl blade, punch, reamer, whatever you want to call it. Again, in the monochrome black, nice little sewing eye on there. And then the corkscrew as well is also done in that black finish. Now the corkscrew screwdriver I did add additional, as I mentioned at the start. Honestly, I would love to see them do something very similar to this, but with just a standard blackout rather than monochrome. Maybe even like a matte black PVD coating. That would be really cool to see. That would be something I'd be interested to pick up. But it's really cool. Do I think it's worth that huge £112 price tag that's on Victorinox as standard, when you just get standard normal black scales and just a blacked out knife? Honestly, I think it should be more than half of that. I mean, I paid less than half of that for this, and that's still quite a lot for just a Spartan. But I know if it's what you like, by all means, if you enjoy it and you like it, buy it. If it's what makes you happy, buy it. But that's pretty much my standing for knives. If I like it, I'm going to buy it. But there we go, guys. That's my review on the Victorinox Onyx Black Spartan. I really hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and check out Dan over at Blade Bridge Customs. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out.